Hey guys, it's Tamika, Moultrie, REDinFamy, and I'm here with Young, the creative director with Deck 13. And he's going to show us more about the game Lords of the Fallen, right? So tell us more about the game and what you want to show us here at E3.
So yeah, it's an action RPG game, and there's a lot of action going on, tactical fighting, and yeah, you'll see a lot of monsters coming at you, but it's not a slasher game. It's really about the one-on-one tactics, how to defeat an enemy, and it's sometimes tricky, so you will die, but the idea is always that you find out why you died and what to do better next time, and there's a lot of options how to do it. And well, we also got a very strong backstory on the game, so yeah, that's the package we have with us.
So in this dungeon crawler that we're going to face that's coming up soon, what are the different classes that we can experience in the game?
You can mix and match a little bit. So at the beginning you choose 3 different types of magic, and the one is more like a warrior magic, where you strengthen your defenses and the power of your strikes and so on. Then you got rogue, who is like more shadow magic. You can disappear in the shadows, strike from secret position and so on. And we got the cleric, who's more like defensive and healing magic. And this is what you stick with throughout the game. However, you can mix and match the gear that you wear. So you can wear warrior gear at the beginning, but later in the game you find other gear and you can wear that and see, okay, maybe it's better to fight as a lighter character, maybe as a rogue, and you can switch then. So there are parts that you cannot switch during the game, and there's a lot of stuff that you can find and try out and mix and match as you like.
Okay, so speaking of the armor and everything, I got a chance to play it just now, and it's in the middle part of the game, and you got to fight this really heavy armored guy. But where it's at in the middle, where you can kind of trick the monster or whatever, he can fall down. And if you have heavy armor, can you fall down as well?
Yes, absolutely. So you can use the environment at certain spots to really help you play. Like you just said, there's a very heavy guy, there are some very light planks. You can lure him to step on the planks and he falls down. But as soon as you fall down, the planks are away. You can fall in there also. But also, if you wear very heavy armor, you can trigger the same trap and fall down yourself. So it's
a bit realistic.
Absolutely. We try to make it a realistic environment, because this way you can expect what's happening. Because you can say, okay, this is what happened last time. So if I see that new situation, I think I know what's going to happen, because I know kind of the rules of physics and what happens with the monsters if they go there. So you can anticipate, and this is what we want to have you do. You learn in the game, you learn the rules, and then you can use them in a new situation.
Yeah, like someone was mentioning before, you could kind of decipher what the enemies are going to do, and then from their body language, you could see what type of attacks you want to use and such. Was that like a big point in the game to use for the different types of enemies?
Absolutely. So it doesn't mean that there's only one way to defeat that enemy, but you can really read the enemy. For example, if there's an enemy with very quick, hectic attacks, it might be a good idea to not use your slowest weapon, because then if you deal one strike, you might break your attack and you cannot even get through, unless you leveled up your character and you cannot like be broken in your attacks. But so you might use a light attack, or you need other things like sneaking up on the enemy with a heavy weapon and deal like one strong strike and you defeat him. So it's up to you how you do it. If there's an enemy with very slow attacks, you might yourself break these attacks with a quick weapon, or you take an equally slow weapon, try to dodge his attacks, and then strike yourself and finish him with 2 or 3 blows. So it's really up to you, but you should take a look at the enemy and then try to find your strategy that suits you.
So in the game, I see that the controllers now, especially for next gen, is pretty different. Kind of using like the triggers and such, it's not the buttons. Can you explain that?
Yeah, I mean, we still try to keep a way of controlling the game that you're used to, so you can get quickly into the game, which is also what we're seeing here at the show, that people can really quickly pick it up and play. But we try to use some extras on the controller. Of course, we want to make use of all the buttons that you have, using the trigger buttons. We're using also like pushing the thumbsticks and so on. And we also make use of the new buttons, for example, of the PlayStation controller. But still, in the end, I think it's more like a classic layout of the controller we try to do. But you can configure it in some way. So yeah, you can find your own style there too.
Okay, so can you talk about multiplayer? Because in the previous games where it's hard, like Dark Souls and Demon Souls, they had these type of multiplayer features. Anything going to be, I guess, added in this iteration?
Well, in this installment, we don't have multiplayer for a start, so that might come later, but right now it's really a focused single-player experience, which gave us, because it's a really new brand, new thing we're doing, so we could focus on one thing and try to do this exactly right, instead of like having the whole package right from the start. And this is why we really try to focus on one or two things and do them exactly right. But that doesn't mean that we won't do it in the future, because we love these multiplayer elements and we'll find ways to put them in there.
I mean, the game is difficult, but it's a fun difficult. You get to want to challenge yourself, and especially as a hardcore gamer, you're always looking for a game that really wants to challenge you. But you also want some friends to help you along the way too. So that'll be pretty cool with a different type of multiplayer, I guess, whatever creative things you could do.
Absolutely. So we're looking into that and we're planning things like that. But right now on this installment, you're on your own, but we still hope that we don't make it too challenging. So the game is especially designed in a way that you don't need to look up the solutions on the internet or call your friends to see how you defeat the boss, but it should really be in a way that you see what mistakes did I make and what can I make better next time. So it's like you said, it's a challenging game, but also it's not meant to be a punishing game where you really say, okay, now I'll need to do this for the 50th time, and I still don't know how to like deal one single point of damage to the boss and throw the controller out of the window. So it should still be something that you just say, okay, I know what I did wrong. Okay, I'll try to work on my timing, and next time I'll get better. So as like,
makes you a better gamer too.
Yeah, absolutely. No, so I think this is the main message that we want to get across. So it's a game for core gamers, absolutely, but it's not like really punishing you for not getting through it quickly.
Now let's talk about boss fights, okay? Because I seen the twinkle in your eye about the boss fights earlier. So can you explain to us a little bit more about, I guess, the diversity of the bosses that we'll experience in Lord of the Fallen?
Yeah, they're a big part of the gameplay actually. So we had more than 10 bosses, which for this game is quite a lot, I think. And they're all very different in their behavior, so you really need to learn them, to read them. And they're all designed that they fit to the story of this world, so you can find out why they are there and what they're doing. And yeah, so these guys are really like the biggest, baddest things you can find in this game. And even though you learned a lot of tactics on the way, you need to think of some new tactic when you approach these guys. And you'll have the feeling that all the time you go through the levels, like the closed ones, the catacombs that we just saw, or wide open ones with towers, battlements. Always at the end there's something waiting for you, and you know it's nothing very nice. And yeah, you need to prepare for that, collect your stuff, yes, like brace yourself, get ready, and yeah, just try to find a way to defeat that boss.
So when can we expect the game to come out?
It's going to be out this fall.
This fall, guys. So we can't wait, and thank you so much for showing us the game. And this is Tamika Moultrie, REDinFamy with GamerFitnation, Young with Tech 13. And for more E3 coverage from GamerFitnation, be sure to check us out on GamerFitnation.com for gaming and health. We'll see you.